Today's video is 5 reasons why you should keep your blessings quiet, silent, silencio. Okay. First Thessalonians 4:11 says, "Make it your goal to live a quiet life, minding your own business and working with your hands, just as we instructed you before." First Thessalonians 4:11. Now, today these principles that I'm gonna be sharing with you is coming out of Second Kings, um, I think 20, chapter 20, verse 12, okay, all the way down to 21 or 22. And this story really is about Hezekiah. Hezekiah is a king, right? God has Hezekiah in a leadership position, and he is going through a little rough time where he's sick. He gets sick. And so as a result, people hear that the king is down. They're sending him different gifts and, letters. And this is coming from the Babylonians. If you guys don't know, in the Bible, the Babylonians are basically people who you don't want to be like. They always talk about getting away from Babylon, right? So they're sending him gifts. And as a result, Hezekiah lets his guard down and he lets these people in, but not just let them in. He brings them into his home. And it says that, matter of fact, I got to read this one part. It says, Hezekiah received the envoys and showed them all that was in his storehouse. So, y'all, he brought them into the house. Okay, this is what he shows them: the silver, the gold, the spices, and the fine olive oil, his armory, and everything found among his treasures. There was nothing in his palace, in all his kingdom, that Hezekiah did not show them. So, these people, he let them in on all the things that he had to fight, all the things that he owned, all of his wealth. And this is a dangerous thing, right? So basically, what happens is he lets them in and they saw everything. Now, Isaiah, who was the prophet at that time, comes to him and he's like, "Yo, what did you show them?" And Hezekiah's like, "Oh, I showed them everything. It was nothing that I didn't show them," right? And then Isaiah prophesies to him and says, "Hey, these very people that you let in, that you showed, that you expose all that you have, are going to be the very people who come in here and take these things from you. The things that you achieved or that you built up from generations, from things that got handed down to you, your own children, will all your leadership, everything will be taken away and brought to the Babylonians." And this is an important message, because as we get blessed, we live in a society. They say, put it on social media. If it's not on social media, it's not happening. But we need to really talk about this. Like, this is a season, where God is blessing us. Like, I don't know if y'all feel it, but I definitely feel it. And whenever you watch this video, we always bless. So it's going to be some blessings heading your way. And this is good wisdom to have. Now, I'm gonna do 5 points of why you should keep your blessings private. The first thing is that it attracts people with the wrong intentions or strangers that you don't know. And Hezekiah's point of view, these men came from, he said, a faraway town from Babylonian. So these wasn't people that was close to him or even any of that. These people heard, they got access to him because he let them in. You got people coming from far, strangers, and you just letting them in and sharing too much. Like, we got to be more mindful of guarding who is we telling what. And it could have been tempting because he's sick and they woo him over with all of these gifts and everything, right? Or maybe they giving him compliments and all of these different things, showing that they want to check on him. But he let his guards down, and these people had the wrong intentions and they were looking for gains and, not really to bring anything good to his life. The second thing is that not only did they come in, but it's hard to tell, when you make your blessings private, who actually is good and who actually is a fake or a fraud, right? Because when people see that you are blessed, right? They see you driving a certain thing, they see you living a certain way, they see the watches you got on, shoes you got on. It could be hard to determine between the compliments that you get. Oh, you're so this, you're so that. People who get rich, a lot of times they're filled with a bunch of yes men who don't even say anything to help the person because they will rather gain or benefit from the person. It's filled with flattery, right? A lot of gifts, right? New business proposals. All of a sudden, people got all these ideas to bring to you, all because you shared your blessing or you're telling people what God did to you. I mean, that God did for you. And now these people want to attach themselves to it. Number three, reason why is because you should never expose all that you have to anybody. The more you expose what you have to people, the more that they kind of can go off of that, right? So it puts a target on your back. You let people know, yeah, I got all of these diamond rings, all these racks of money, all of this going on, right? But you put a target on your back because what happens is people start to compare, right? They look at their life like, oh, he got all of those diamond rings, he got all of this, he got all of that, all this money, all of this. He don't have to worry about nothing. My life, I only have an apartment. I live with my parents. I don't only got $20. My like people start comparing and it becomes jealousy. So when people don't know what you have, they can't compare what you guys have. Therefore, it almost takes that. It doesn't. You don't have a target on your back now. Granted, with God's blessings, it's kind of hard to hide them all, right? Like, I'm not telling you to go just live in dirt, poor, cheap. Like, people will see the blessings, but what you don't want to do is be like, oh, you seen that blessing? You wouldn't even believe all the other ones that I have. Like, if God bless you, people know you got a company that's successful. You don't need to go in there and tell them all the other 5, 7, 10 companies you built off of that behind the scenes. It's like learning how to just quietly just, hey, just let it roll. Number four, it puts your legacy at risk, right? When people know what you have, not only do they start putting a target on your back, but the people connected to you, your family. Oh, let me get close to the brother, the cousin, the sister, the this, right? The business person. Like that's a part of it, right? Or people start, they want to risk what you're building. Now, all of a sudden, they either want to be a part of it or tear it down and all of these different things. And one of the main things that I realized is reputation, right? They start to put your reputation at risk, right? Oh, aren't you the person that used to be like this, or you used to do this, or whatever the case may be? It's like, who do you think you are to elevate yourself and leave other people where they at? And it's not that they don't even have an opportunity to go where you at, but they don't want to submit to God or do whatever it needs to be. And the last thing I'll say is that um and the reason I said that was because not only did they take the land, or they plan to take the land from Hezekiah, but now it was a generational thing. His sons was going to pay for it. Everything that the generations before that built was at stake, all because he wasn't living a quiet life, you know? So if we want to maintain, if we want to do this, we got to be aligned with the word. And then the fifth thing was that it brings haters, right? People turn on you, like like those men started off giving Hezekiah gifts and they left off by plotting on how they could take over his land. And so this is why, as God starts to bless you, like it's so tempting to want to put it on social media. You have no idea how many times like I got blessings and I want to like tell somebody, like literally, and I just have to be quiet, or maybe things change for me in a professional setting and I want to put it on my LinkedIn but I don't, or all of these different things, like, or I get gain in an area of my life and I want to share with people I love, but I understand that if someone is not, they feel as if they're not being blessed in the season or at that capacity, it's easy for them to look and be like, oh, well, you got this and I only have that. And the very people that love you or seen your heart will turn on you, not because of you, but it's almost like Cain and Abel. Like, I ain't planning to say this, but it's almost like Cain and Abel. They were brothers, they were good. They both had their jobs working in the field. The thing was, when Cain came back and Abel came back, Abel he gave, he was obedient to God. He gave his best, he gave his first. And Cain just gave whatever. And he's looking at his brother like, oh, why is he blessed more than me? Instead of understanding that he could be blessed the same. God said he could receive the same blessing had he just been obedient. But when people don't want to do that, then they more so just get captivated, or their heart goes into the wrong place. So the best thing for us to do as we are obedient to God, God increases us, is to just be quiet about the blessings. Like, if you want to teach or share different principles that you learn through the Bible, I suggest doing that. The reason why is because from what I learned, 9 times out of 10 people who see the gain in my life, when I start sharing the word of God, they literally will disappear. They don't want to hear that. Or, like, it's really interesting. It happened to me just over the last couple of weeks. People like to call me for advice or ask me about how, my blessings are in my life. But then when I bring up God, they disappear. And I love that because, I'm not going to, we shouldn't just share, oh, this is the blessing, this is a blessing. Tell the people the formula. If they don't want to hear the formula, then that's on them. But you definitely don't want to be flashing the blessings that you have. So as you go into the season, as God blesses you, keep it quiet, protect your legacy, protect yourself, save yourself from having a target on your back, and continue to share God's word and formula so they could get into that word. I love y'all. I'm out.